I don't think one should attach particular importance to a statement by President Trump when, as you know, his statements change with the passing of each day. I am not here to attack President Trump. I am simply stating the obvious, as many world leaders have learned, not least Mr. Zelensky. What President Trump says on one day or in 1 week is not necessarily what he's going to say on another day and another week. So I'm not going to parse his statements. Rather, I will try to look at the big picture. President Trump has made clear that he wants what he calls the deal of the century with Saudi Arabia. Now, that, in my opinion, is the top item on his agenda. However, Saudi Arabia can't normalize relations with the U.S. and Israel so long as there's a genocide occurring in Gaza. That's a bad optic. So it's quite likely that the actual bombing, artillery shelling, and physical destruction of Gaza, I think it's quite possible that it will end because President Trump wants that deal with Saudi Arabia. As you might recall, at the time of the original Abraham Accords, the states that joined in with Israel, they made the claim that they had stopped the annexation of the West Bank. At that time, Israeli leaders were talking about annexing the West Bank, and then the Gulf states claimed that it was because they joined in the Abraham Accords that Israel didn't annex the West Bank. That was completely false, but that was their pretense and pretext. And now Saudi Arabia needs a pretense and pretext, and if Israel resumes the bombing, they lose any face-saving excuse for entering into the Abraham Accords. So that's President Trump's principal goal. I agree. It's quite possible that he will prevent Israel from resuming the bombing and the artillery shelling in Gaza. However, to imagine anything beyond that, I believe requires a suspension of your rational faculty.